Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're diving into something that is an absolute game changer for how we handle Agentic AI. Now, if you've been in the trenches building these systems, you already know the pain. Managing tokens, right? It honestly feels like this constant uphill battle you just can't win. But listen, we aren't just here to talk about shaving a few bucks off your monthly API bill today. No, we're going to see how to completely rethink these systems from the ground up.
Let me ask you this. When you see that token count creeping up, do you just view it as a billing issue? Because for the longest time, the industry treated it exactly like that, just a cost of doing business. But here's the thing. Treating tokens purely as a financial metric hides a massive, massive performance bottleneck. The truth is, bloated tokens are probably quietly suffocating your AI's logic and speed right now. So we really need to redefine our true objective here. Token optimization isn't just about pinching pennies. It's actually about maximizing the amount of useful reasoning and action per token. When you get this right, it directly improves your latency, it supercharges your planning quality, and it vastly increases your system's reliability. Basically, lean tokens mean a fundamentally smarter AI.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. 1. The cost of bloat. 2. Architecting for efficiency. 3. Smart context and memory. 4. Prompt level optimization. And finally, number 5, maximizing your ROI.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the costs of bloat, and why legacy agents are failing us.
The absolute ultimate anti-pattern we see out there is the monolithic agent. Just imagine for a second, forcing one single agent to ingest an entire chat history, every single tool description you have, plus a whole mountain of retrieved documents, all at once. I mean, it's completely overwhelming, right? It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. We have got to replace this with specialized agents that receive minimal, narrowly scoped context, and they need to communicate using compact, structured data, not these long, rambling transcripts.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, Architecting for Efficiency, Building Scalable Agentic Systems.
So, the real secret to a scalable architecture? Delegation. We have to stop relying on that single God agent to do literally everything. Instead, you want to break your workflow down into specific roles. Think a planner, a researcher, a coder, a tester, a reviewer. By giving these highly specialized agents only the exact context they need for their specific job, we basically stop context growth dead in its tracks.
And the crucial insight here, the big light bulb moment, is the strict separation of planning from execution. Look, planning inherently needs high-level abstraction and broader context, right? But execution requires laser-focused detail. So if your planner comes up with a 5-step plan, the executor handling, say, step 2, well, it only needs the instructions for step 2, and maybe a few relevant authentication docs. This is huge because it keeps the executor from dragging around the heavy token-consuming weight of the entire project on its back.
Okay, zooming in a bit. Section 3, Smart Context and Memory, and how we get efficient info flow.
We absolutely must stop loading all available information up front. Think of this in 3 simple steps. First, start with a high-level summary. Second, retrieve additional context only if it's explicitly required. And third, load the actual raw documents only as an absolute last resort. If you've got a computer science background, you'll recognize this immediately. It's exactly like demand paging in operating systems. You're loading information into memory only when the system actually demands it.
Now, to actually pull that off, we organize our information into concentric circles of importance. We call these context tiers. Why? Because not all information deserves equal real estate in your prompt. Tier 1 is your current task and your active constraints. This is the sweet spot. This is where your agent should live 90% of the time. Then, Tier 2 handles session memory or recent decisions. Tier 3 stores long-term preferences. And Tier 4? That's just an archive, retrieved only when explicitly needed.
This approach completely redefines how we think about agent memory. Look, memory should not just be some lazy, uncurated dump of the entire chat history. Doing that is incredibly, insanely inefficient. Instead, we need to compress memory aggressively into a structured state. You want to track the objectives, the constraints, the key decisions made, any unresolved questions, and the completed tasks. Actually maintaining a structured state like this is infinitely more efficient for both the models and your frameworks than just blindly replaying dozens and dozens of old conversational turns.
And while we're on the subject of memory, the AI's internal reasoning, that needs to be treated as ephemeral. Sure, deliberation is super useful during a task, but it almost never needs to persist after the fact. You can keep your systems blazing fast by retaining only the final conclusions, the concrete decisions, and the action items. Seriously, once that internal reasoning has served its purpose, just throw the scratch pad away. You don't need it.
All right, let's get down to the code level. Section 4, Prompt Level Optimization, Trimming the Fat.
Let's look at a classic mistake we all make, the polite conversational prompt. You know the one, I want you to carefully analyze the following information and please provide a detailed explanation, right? Now, compare that to an optimized version. Analyze and summarize. Here's a little secret. The AI does not care about your manners. Every single polite word you type is another token build and another microsecond of latency added to your response. So cut the fluff. Just be direct.
So here are a few micro-optimizations you can literally apply today. First up, put your instructions first. Define them once in your system prompt and don't keep repeating them. Next, ask for structured outputs, like JSON. That consumes way fewer tokens than having the AI write out verbose prose. Limit your output length, obviously. Aggressively chunk those large documents. Avoid asking for chain of thought when a simple direct answer will do just fine. Oh, and finally, use consistent abbreviations. I mean, if a long term appears a lot, turn retrieval augmented generation into RAG. These little micro-tactics add up fast and instantly drop your overhead.
Now, this next one is a massive hidden cost. Tool descriptions. Seriously, large tool schemas will absolutely dominate your token usage because remember, tool definitions consume your context window too. So restrict access dynamically based on the exact task at hand. Think about it, a coding agent does not need access to your travel booking tools. Expose only what is strictly 100% necessary for that specific action.
Okay, let's bring it all together. Section 5, maximizing your ROI with the highest impact wins.
Look, if you want to see the most dramatic drop in latency and costs, you need a prioritized attack plan. Don't just start tweaking randomly. Start with the very high-impact tasks. You absolutely must aggressively trim that chat history and summarize your previous context first. That's your biggest win. Only once that's dialed in should you move down the list to high-impact tasks, like shortening your prompts, limiting output lengths, and chunking inputs. Always tackle the biggest bottlenecks first.
Just to put this into perspective, consider a verbose 150-plus token prompt. Asking the AI to act as an expert software engineer, carefully analyze the code, identify the bugs, and discuss performance. Now compare that to a tight 40-token optimized prompt that just specifies the desired output directly. That 40-token prompt is cheaper, it's faster, and here's the best part, it produces equally useful results simply by being direct. It's just a massive win across the board.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a practical challenge. Take a hard look at the systems you're building right now. Really ask yourself, what legacy chat history can you immediately purge from your databases today? Seriously, it is time to shift over to structured state memory and stop paying this hidden tax of bloated architecture. Go make your agents leaner, smarter, and way faster today.